Okay, as a profession, and let's be brutally honest here, lawyers are not renowned for being early adopters of new technologies. And if we're going to be a little more brutally honest, I think that the more accurate description is that we are unbelievably sloth-like adopters, in the fact that pretty much every kind of new technology that has come in over the last 30 years, we have been the slowest to pick it up and do anything with it. Now, whether or not you agree with that doesn't really matter. This video is about IGTV or Instagram TV. It is new-ish in the sense that it is a few days old, and I'm going to try and explain to you why you should care at least a little bit about IGTV. But first, a little history lesson so we can see what's happened before. Once upon a time, there was a profession called lawyers. And when lawyers were doing their jobs and charging lots of money, they thought that was all pretty good. And as lawyers started to embrace the internet, some new things came, but the lawyers didn't need to actually use any of those because they were still making lots and lots of money. And so when Facebook came in, lawyers didn't use Facebook. Other people used Facebook. The lawyers were afraid of Facebook because, after all, it might be a bit of a waste of time and money. And as a result, the lawyers didn't take up Facebook. They didn't use Facebook pages. They didn't build company brands on Facebook. And then after years and years and years of people building huge followings on Facebook and making just tons and tons of money, lawyers eventually thought, maybe there's something to do on Facebook for our business. Of course, by that time, Facebook had been wrecked, and the opportunities available on Facebook had been really diminished. We could tell that same story for the internet generally, for email marketing, for most forms of new social media, for video generally, for websites, and pretty much everything else. And the reason I can say that confidently, aside from the fact that I pay attention to this industry for a living, is I still see it. And so while I am going to tell you now that I think Instagram TV is an opportunity for you and for your law firm to capture a significant amount of attention from people who might actually be relevant to your business, I know for a fact that most of you aren't going to do a single thing about it. And the reason I know that is because most lawyers still aren't even making videos. Most lawyers are still content to do exactly what they have only just started doing semi-decently, which is write articles on their blogs. And for whatever reason, the majority of lawyers don't like to move into things quickly. Why is that a problem? It's a problem because now is the time for the opportunity. Yes, there is higher risk now. The platform might collapse in a heap. But there is more opportunity now as well. While there are less people on it who are creating things in your particular field, how many clients would you need to get, or people paying attention to you that are relevant to your business would there need to be for an opportunity like this to be worthwhile? It doesn't take many for most lawyers to actually have a decent return on their investment. So, what the heck is Instagram TV? Instagram TV is the new IG platform which allows people to create longer form video content. Okay, it is a standalone app. It is also available inside Instagram itself, and there you are going to find that you can create an account very easily, and you can upload 15-second to probably for most people 10-minute video content. So you've got up to 10 minutes. Now, if you're a lawyer, I do not generally recommend a 10-minute video, depending on how fantabulously interesting you are. Whatever you are going to do, IGTV is another platform to do it. It has some fascinating quirks though. The first thing is this: right at the moment, there are no ads, which is lovely. I'm not thinking that that's going to hang around for too long, but there are no ads right at the moment. Okay? Second, you can already be seen by people who are connected with you on Instagram. So if you have an Instagram business account and you create an IGTV channel, people are already going to be seeing you. So you're not starting from absolute zero, you're starting from wherever you got to on Instagram in the first place. Why do you need to think about how you do it specifically for IGTV? Well, the reason is that they have, in their infinite wisdom, decided to make it a vertical platform. So instead of horizontal, like this video and like pretty much every other video on YouTube, with some small exceptions, IGTV is going to be a vertical video platform. I think that's going to be better for mobile consumption. And so you need to start thinking about vertical video if you're going to get onto IGTV. Would I do it if I was a lawyer or a law firm looking to actually get exposure to clients? Well, the answer is probably, but not necessarily. It's going to depend on who your clients are and where they hang out. Not a lot of people go to Instagram for lawyer content specifically. It generally has a different vibe about it. So legal tips and stuff like that, it's not usually why people are on Instagram. Will IGTV develop its own sort of culture or its own ecosystem around what kind of content gets shared? I think that's entirely possible, because the nature of longer form video is that you're going to get a lot more explanations, you're going to get a lot more how-tos, you're going to get a lot more DIY kind of stuff on the platform now. So from that perspective, I guess a lot of people are talking about it as if it's competitive with YouTube, and I think that's a reasonable comparison to make. They are very similar in the sense of what they're trying to achieve, but I think you're going to find that there are going to be some really interesting approaches to how people make this vertical portrait video system work for them. So I'm going to do a few more videos on IGTV in particular, just to sort of work through how we might go about doing it, talk a bit about portrait mode, but for now the question is, are you going to get amongst it in the early days? Are you going to take that fairly small risk, and are you going to use this opportunity to build a presence on a new platform, or are you going to do what lawyers have traditionally done and just let the early adopter phase fade away until it's saturated with your competition and everyone is getting harder and harder to be seen on the platform? That's really the question you have, and traditionally, like I said, we're not good at it, so I thoroughly encourage you at the very least to look at it, have a play around with it, see whether you can do something useful with it. If you've got questions about the IGTV platform that you'd like me to address or anything like that, particularly with the spin of lawyers on it, of course, let me know in the comments, and I'll see you again very soon.